I really believe him when he says he's the villain and he's the emotional center of this movie, because I think he's great in his role, and what makes him so great in his role is that I believe him when he says, I don't want to do this. This task that I have, I think he convincingly sells that inner conflict, man. I've been announcing it, but I'm going to announce it again, that we have sold out all of our highest tier tickets for Double Toasted Live in Brooklyn, New York. That's going to be April 1st. Well, this is a little overdue. We were supposed to have this review of M. Night Shyamalan's latest film, Knock at the Cabin. Mm-hmm. We were supposed to do this a while back, or at least you guys were supposed to do it, but there was a big freeze here in Texas, and when we just get a little drop of snow or a little ice on the road, people die, electricity goes down, trees commit suicide.
Very much.
Trees took down Austin.
It's like The Happening.
Yeah, I'm like, where's that M. Night Shyamalan movie?
He was right. What a twist.
Except nature actually did something.
Yeah.
Just wasn't going around talking about, where's the Killer Tree movie? The tree that killed Austin. But yeah, man. I told, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I told people, man, I'm kind of glad that the movie got canceled, because if I can't go, y'all shouldn't go.
Sure.
Okay.
So
that's how it is.
Yeah, that's I'm petty like
That's
that.
fair.
Yeah.
No, that is very petty. That is very. Oh, there's the twist. I'm an asshole.
Didn't say that.
But the movie, I don't even know how it did this weekend. I know it was getting kind of mixed reviews out there, but I do have to say that the trailer had me intrigued, which we'll show you right now. Dave Bautista looks like he's part of a cult. Shows up at the door of this gay couple and their adopted Asian daughter, and says, you know what? Y'all are just too hipster. Y'all are just too liberal. You know, one of y'all gonna have to kill each other just to break this up. Oh, and by the way, also, God is pissed again. He's made another apocalypse, and he's going around making people just things for no reason. Like, I don't know, kill your loving husband over here. If you want to save the world, that is.
Yeah. You don't have to, but if you don't, the world's going to end.
Yeah. And by the way, just to make you feel extra, you're going to be the only ones alive, so you can see exactly what you did when you did not kill somebody or make a sacrifice and only thought about yourselves. Dave Bautista, I would say, probably plays the most frightening Jehovah's Witness I've ever seen.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Can I come into your house and talk to you about the Lord? Do I have a choice?
No.
Where?
Damn, boy, big man, he got on there quick.
Stealthy, man.
The Lord gives him the power to teleport silently.
Sure did. I would have been scared. I'd be like, how the over here? I just saw you.
I'm afraid the rule is that no one's allowed to leave until you choose.
Just like a lot of M. Night Shyamalan's movies today, it kind of dividing people a little bit. I say dividing, but just, it's
divisive.
Because there's people who really like the movie, and then there's some people who just say, I just don't get this guy anymore. But I will say that for me, just right off the bat, I'm gonna tell you, I think that this is his best directed film since The Visit.
Anna's not feeling well.
Grandmother's fine. It's like somebody talking in their sleep.
What's he doing? They're weird during the day.
I was just cleaning it.
Okay, so here's the thing with M. Night Shyamalan. When he's either working with a low budget, like he did with this movie here, The Visit, or when he's not working towards a gimmick, I think that's when he's more focused and great. Now, I can't really say that that's what he does. It's just a feeling I get, man. Because when he's got these movies that have gimmicks, twists, and things like that, I think he's so interested in dropping clues here and there that you'll go back and catch that, you know, I don't think his pacing is as good. I don't think he's working on the pacing that well.
It's a problem with so trying to set up the surprise ending that you aren't present in the moment making the film flow. And work correctly. It's like, well, why doesn't this happen? Well, that's because it's going to be a surprise later on.
Wait, you'll see.
Well, but I'm here right now, though. Don't do everything for that.
Shh. All will be revealed. Yeah, and it's like, you know, so that you go back and you could say, oh man, I should have caught that. No, you know, I don't want no goddamn magician sleight of eye thing going on. I think when he doesn't have to work on a gimmick of some sort, and I'm not saying what happens in this movie right here, but it's not like his other films where we're sitting up there waiting for something to happen and trying to predict for something to happen. He's just, what he is working on, and what's working for me is that he's working on the pacing where the suspense level in this is pretty amazing, man. You know, instead of working on some sort of gimmick or working towards something near the end, he's really trying to make this more of a tense head game, you know, throughout this film. You know, these crazy people show up, and throughout the movie, he really does effectively, I think he effectively plays his game with your head where you're questioning the whole time, are these people real or not? When he has good material or when he's not concentrating on that goal at the end, I think he's a brilliant director, man. And for me, I think that's he directed this very effectively.
I'll just say, you know, I agree with you. I do feel like this is probably his best film since The Visit. It does not reach the heights of something like The Sixth Sense or Unbreakable. No. But what this movie does so well is that he creates tension and just like this whole idea of like, okay, are these people actually crazy or do they have a point? I'm shocked that they showed that. I never saw this trailer before that. They kind of give it away there. And I feel like you have some very good performances. Jonathan Groff, and which you've seen him in multiple things. Netflix's Mindhunter and things. And
he was also in what you call it?
Hamilton. Yeah, he plays King George. And then the person who's playing his husband.
Ben Aldridge.
Ben Aldridge. Very good in the movie. I like their kid too. You know, Shyamalan, he's very hit and miss.
Great. Kristen Cui.
Kristen Cui. You know, Shyamalan, I think, you know, later in his career has been kind of hit and miss with directing kids. But she's great. And, you know, the standout is Dave Bautista. My issue with Shyamalan, like I know you guys' big issue was the gimmick. My issue with him for a long time, pretty much it's been post Unbreakable, is that he's forgotten how to write and direct human beings. That's my biggest issue. Because and it's on display in this movie. There are so many scenes with characters where they just don't sound normal. And I'm not talking about like, well, because they're crazy. It's like, no, like the way in which they're speaking, enunciating their cadence. It's like they speak so matter-of-factly, like they're these lifeless automatons. And I'm thinking, why has he been doing this for the last 20 years? And it's like, it's not necessary. I saw movies where they don't do that. You know, in The Sixth Sense and Unbreakable, and suddenly he's embraced this cadence for his characters, and everyone does in this movie. Not all the time, certainly not in like compared to Old, where everyone sounded like that throughout the entire thing. But it's here again. I'm thinking like if you just eliminated that, then this would be a lot better. But he's adamant about writing people this way, and it's weird.
I thought his treatment with the gay couple was actually felt real to me. I thought the little girl felt real to me. They know, because I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
In his movies, you know, he really has this very quiet and stilted way of talking. And that was his way of creating tensions in films. And instead, it was boring. But here, I thought that the gay couple, you know, I thought they felt very natural in here. Now, you know, the other people, you know, they're kind of nuts. So, you know, I saw it with that. But go ahead.
It makes sense for them to do it. No, I'm with you guys. It's well directed by him, and there's plenty of tension going into it, and I was really into it for the first act or so. About halfway through, I started to find it very unconvincing, where I was like, there's so many questions here that aren't being addressed. Like, even the characters themselves would have questions about what's going on. Matter of fact, by the time it got to the end, I was like, you know what? This whole premise was just completely flawed. What the hell? I was like it reminded me of Us, where you're like, man, this is such a great ride. But when it gets to the end, to whatever is the explanation, you're like, wait, what? What about this? And what about this?
Yeah.
And I wish I could have seen this movie with M. Night in our private screening
So you can
room.
knock on the back of the head.
Well, I would have a remote control where every so often I would pause it and go like, hold on, I'm sorry. They just said this and then that. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, wait, pause. Okay. Why isn't he asking him about this? Yeah. All right. All right. Man, I want to go with this, but the more I think about it, the more it just falls apart.
I'm kind of thinking I might have liked this better than both of you, but I got one big problem that just brought this movie down a big grade for me. And I'll get to that in a little bit. And it's too bad because there's so much in this movie that I like. For one, I really love Dave Bautista, man.
Sure.
Now, I don't want to do this thing where I say, Rock, you suck. Dave Bautista, you're cool. You know, I'm not going to do that. But because Dave Bautista, I'm not going to compare to The Rock. He just does not want to be an action star.
Yeah.
He wants to be an actor.
Yes.
And he knew this. He saw something in himself before anybody else did because he's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
he
guy
is.
has so
He is.
much range. One of the things I like about Dave Bautista in this movie is the way, first of all, M. Night Shyamalan frames him, man. I mean, Dave Bautista's big, but he makes his ass look huge
He does.
in this movie. When he walked up on that little girl, I thought he was going to pick up and eat her. You know, I didn't expect him to have a conversation.
There's a lot done with the sound design when he's walking in the cabin and,
Sure
and,
is.
and the floorboards creak.
creak.
Even though he's being gentle
Yeah.
and walking slowly, it's
He's
still
a big old nerd.
Yeah. He's got those big Godzilla feet he's walking
Yeah.
with, man. Shit, Tokyo will be shaking every time he walks, man. The other thing with him is that I love about him that I think he brings to this story. One of the things that I think makes me like this movie probably more than you guys, or at least enjoy the movie more than I thought I would, is that I really believe him when he says he's the villain and he's the emotional center of this movie, because I think he's great in his role, and what makes him so great in his role is that I believe him when he says, "I don't want to do this." This task that I have, I think he convincingly sells that inner conflict, man.
Oh yeah.
I feel really, and the thing is, he's there talking about, I'm about to kill one of you, and I feel bad for him. You know, I'm like, hey man, I feel so bad for him. I was kind of like, why don't y'all just stop and listen to him for a moment? You know, I mean, he might have a point. I mean, I ain't the one I got to die, but I'm just saying. Or I'm the guy that people probably would have hated if I was in a room with them, because I probably would have been one of the guys tied up, and I would have been like, well, let's just listen to him real quick. I mean, maybe he got a point, because I think he sells it that well. Also, being that he's the sympathetic part of the movie and the villain, I was also wondering, even though I felt bad for him, I was like thinking, okay, when is this big ass gonna get fed up and start losing it? Look, I told you, mother, I've been trying to be nice now. Told you what I got to do, and I tried to be cool and reasonable. He's so big that at any moment, that adds to the tension. He's so big that at any moment you think he's gonna lose his mind.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, I ain't gotta sit up here and listen to y'all. I tried to be nice. I gave y'all a courtesy. I can just break y'all's legs, make you beg to be killed. And I think the rest of the cast is really great too, man. As I said, with looking at him in the movie, I think that he's so big, and he's so and he is pretty much the main character here out of those other three people, that I think he kind of overshadows everybody, but everybody else is good, man.
Literally and figuratively.
What's that?
Literally and
Yo,
figuratively.
literally. Oh yeah. No, he's providing shade for everybody when it gets hot around there.
You have to understand that we cannot and will not choose who is to be sacrificed for you.
We're not sacrificing anyone. Not now, not ever.
I don't blame him.
And people saying, is that wizard boy? Yes, that's Rupert Grint. I showed this to show you just how good Dave Bautista is, but Rupert Grint is really good for the short time that he's in here.
Yeah, a little bit he's there.
Yeah, he's very good in this movie, man. These characters, they get a lot more frightening to me throughout the movie. And I think one of the great things about how these characters frighten me is because it's a lot of things that frighten me with them is that it's in a way I don't expect. It's not anything that they necessarily do to the couple in there. They do some things that are downright frightening to me, or either adds to the tension. And I can't say where it is, but it's not what you think it is, man. They do certain actions in here that that makes it frightening because they really believe what they're talking about. And if they really believe what they're talking about, what they're about to do is probably going to be, you know, they start to put in your head all the frightening outcomes that could happen with this because if they are real, you know, or if they are crazy people, they're just very fanatical about what they're doing. What's also scary about them is that they keep saying, you know, we're not here to harm you, but you are. You showed up with these big ass medieval ass weapons.
They also say, this is completely your choice, but they busted in and tied us up. So I feel like this is not our choice.
Yeah, at least to a certain extent, you know, and it's still a frightening situation. But what makes it scary is that they say is we don't want to do this. Hey, we're sorry. They keep being polite when clearly somebody has got to die. And I don't give a how polite you are. I don't care how many please and thank yous you have. Somebody's going to die here. And that's not an easy thing to swallow right now.
Daddy, get up. We have to go, Daddy.
Yeah, go nowhere. That's another thing that's with this movie right here. As a bottle film, I think it's very effective because, you know, the bottle film is where you have limited space to play with, which means if somebody's after you, they're going to get in, but you ain't got nowhere to run. You might get away if you get Green Chef though, and I tell you,
I mean, you can cook your captors a nice meal.
Yeah, man.
Maybe they'll let you go.
Yeah.
Vice versa.
You have a nice meal for them. Hey, you eat the meal yourself. The reason why is because, well, Green Chef is the #1 meal kit. Not just the #1 meal kit though, the #1 meal kit for eating well. You know, a lot of people, y'all eat like garbage out there, and you know you do. And some of you said, you know what, I'm tired of trashing my body like this. Time for me to turn around, take care of my health, eat a whole lot better. Some of you say, well, you know what, man, trying to eat healthy, trying to go out there and eat the right things, that's expensive. I mean, you know, that's why people eat like trash.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but Green Chef, that changes everything here. Well, first of all, what is Green Chef? Well, Green Chef is a CCOF certified meal company that makes, well, eating well a lot easier for you and for every lifestyle out there. You know, there's a lot of choices to eating healthy today. You got paleo, keto, Vito, Frodo, Bilbo. Got all that out there, man. But vegetarian, gluten-free. So if you're looking to just have more balanced meals and you're looking to eat better, Green Chef offers a whole range of recipes that'll suit your preferences out there. 30 plus recipes weekly, and you have the option to mix and match those all you want.
They look good.
Yeah, man. The other thing about eating well is expensive and it just takes time. You know, I got to cook all that. Ain't nobody got anything fast and easy, ready to eat quickly and also is healthy. Well, Green Chef does. They got these recipes under 750 calories that you can get ready in 25 minutes or less. And mind you, talking about these look good, man. Let me tell you some of the recipes that you can get. They got these premium proteins, organic produce. They got sustainably sourced seafood, but you can expand on that with things like figs, dates, got artichokes up in there, man. All that healthy stuff for you. Thought I was playing with you. No, I'm serious, man. Tasty and healthy. Affordable and quick and easy to make. Look, you ain't got no more excuses, all right? Put that donut down. Get on with this Green Chef right here. And you know what? I'm gonna make it easier for you. If you go to greenchef.com/toasted60 and use the code toasted60, you'll get 60% off your order plus free shipping. So you're eating healthy, saving time, and you're getting something for free. I don't want to hear from you no more. Eating healthy is easy now. I know I was hard at one time, but we just made it a lot easier for you. So I want to thank Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well, for coming in, sponsoring this portion of the show. Hey, trying to look after your health out there. And I want to thank all of you out there for looking after us with your support, as usual. Thank you. Now, I was talking about suspense in this, with this being a bottle film. You know, I do think this is very suspenseful. I don't think anybody in this room feels this way, but I do think if you really do fall into this movie, it could at sometimes even make you not really turn against this couple, but just start to like sympathize with the people there and look at this couple and be like, hey man, you really, it's worth it. Listen, you're going to put the world you're going to put the world in jeopardy. You're going to destroy everything, because one of the things I like is that there's just small moments where they make the couple look sort of selfish, look sort of entitled to each other in a way. They don't think, make it look like they're just thinking about themselves just for a moment. I don't know if anybody in here feels like that, but I can see some people feeling that way.
Well, I'll tell you this, there comes a point in a movie where the things start happening. By the way, so much of this movie feels like a more intimate remake of The Happening. I almost felt like, I'm going to get it right this time, or almost get it right. But there comes a point where it's like, things are happening outside, because we do cut, to that, and we rely on, the TV to show that. I'm like, okay, based on everything that you're seeing now, it's like you have to change your mind, but I think they take a little too long to do that, and that can get frustrating. Got a little frustrating for me.
Well, I'll tell you what. Okay, let me get to the part that, because I did like this better than you guys. I can already tell up to a certain extent, and I'm probably leaning towards what you're saying, because as this went on, like, you know what, y'all need to either quit or you need to figure this out right here, because everything is kind of working for me until you show this. And this just and this shit right here don't make any sense. Now, as I said, there are moments in here where these people scared me for what they were doing. And I'm saying things they're not even doing to this couple. They are very frightening. Yeah. And right at that moment where the movie pulled me in and I saw that they were doing, and I truly was horrified. And let me see if I can find an example of what I'm looking for right here. Here we go. So right when I just started being horrified by these acts, I'm in. M. Night got me, man. Got his claws on me.
Oh, no.
I'm putty. I'm feeling and doing whatever he wants from me. And then they had to cut that TV on and say, see what y'all did?
Close your eyes.
That's a news report showing the actual destruction that they say. Now, they can still put doubt on your head because of what's happening with the news reports. As I say, that's a good writing thing that they did. But those news reports are so ridiculous.
Yeah. They are so
silly.
Fake looking and ridiculous. And even one of the characters says, how do I know that you didn't just put this together?
Doctor it.
Doctor it. And that doesn't get addressed. And I was like, no, goddammit. Come back and answer that question.
Yeah, the thing is, everything is wrong with these news reports. I mean, maybe some people were cool with it, but I looked at this, first of all, no news report goes like this.
No.
They don't show you everything. They don't show you hundreds of thousands of people dying and just leave the camera rolling. Second of all, like this, listen, this might be a little bit of a spoiler, but somebody's filming this tsunami on the beach, and the camera crew, the news shows this. How the news get this footage right here?
Exactly.
The person obviously died.
It's a cloud, man.
It's a cloud. You're in a cloud.
Yeah, because even it's like, this is some found footage. It's like, what device would have survived that?
Somebody said it was live streamed, but okay, so it was live streamed. But even then, listen, y'all, live stream from who?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't. First of all, it was not the reporter that was there. It was taken from somebody else's camera. And even then, like I said, no news report, because they let. It's almost like the news report forgot to cut. Because what happened when the tsunami hit, they left the camera on.
Yeah.
And it looked like the camera was just swimming.
Yeah.
It looked like a fish bowl after a while, like a fish tank.
M. Night Shyamalan doesn't know how phones work or cameras work.
These news reports ruin parts of this movie for me.
Sure. Undercuts the tension.
It not only undercuts the tension, but the question of, are these people real or are they not?
Yeah.
It lended more towards they're not real, or at least enough for any reasonable person to be like, I was skeptical before, but I am really skeptical of all of you liars. Get out of my house.
Listen, I know the phone, people in the chat talking about the phone was, or once somebody talking about the phone was waterproof. I know that. All I'm saying is, and by the way, I don't even know how waterproof that is, but I was talking about how they just let it linger.
Yeah.
After the phone got underwater, they cut off, they kept it on there for a few seconds. They had to cut the TV off. because they wasn't cutting. Even they got bored of it. So, you know, I don't know, man. And it's just, I mean, even if you can't explain it, they just look fake.
Yeah, the graphics and
It looks like The
everything.
Happening.
Yeah, I still like the movie, but that made me bring it down to a low matinee, where I was like, this movie's really working for me. But I think outside of those news reports, I thought he was directing this well, which actually makes me more upset that he put those news reports in there because he was breaking. It's almost like watching two different movies at that point. But I still liked it though, man. It's when it works well. So yeah, it's a low matinee for me.
Well, like I said, it's an interesting premise to start, but it's, you know, maybe it's a pet peeve for me where you have a movie with an interesting premise that brings you in and you're like, ooh, what's going on? Okay, so tell me, so why is this happening? And when it gets to it, I'm like, wait, what? That's it? Because when I was watching this movie, I was like you guys, I was like, this is really well directed and the tension here, and I am so into it. But then there were little cracks. And a lot of it was, why isn't anybody asking the important questions here? And I get he was doing biblical allegory, you know, and it's not like Mother, where, yeah, that was all biblical allegory and it took place in kind of a fantasy setting. This is supposed to be the real world. And he's bringing this in and he's rewriting the Four Horsemen and all this stuff. But just the more it went on, I was like, man, you put me in a real world and in a real world situation where I'm in this, what these people are asking is, one, their sales pitch is horrible. I don't know how they thought it could be successful. And what you're asking is preposterous. I don't know how anybody is supposed to believe this and go with it. But I was still kind of riding with it until it got to the end. And then I did, like, not meaning to, but just out loud said, I don't get this movie. But it is just because there are great performances, especially Dave Bautista and Kristen Cui. But it's a low rental for me.
A lot of cases where the dialogue just felt awkward and weird, and it undercut everything that was intended to happen in those scenes. And the whole thing with it's funny, I'm just thinking, because I've actually rewatched a lot of his older movies, and he uses the news reports as a crutch for just giving a lot of exposition away. And he does it in Unbreakable, you know, but that is like actually good. It looks like news footage. Yeah. But then you get the signs. I was like, oh, this doesn't look too good. And then when we get the happening, it's like, oh God, this is awful.
Yeah.
And so in here, it's that. And it would have been almost better if we didn't even see that. Yeah. We didn't know, like, that would have been more tension because it's like, oh, shit. Like, okay. And then that's even creepier then, you know? And maybe you show some weird things outside, but you don't make it look as fake as you do in the movie. So, I didn't dislike as much as you, Martin, but I guess we're kind of on the same page, Corey. I would also give this a low matinee. It's one of his better films the last few years, but he needs to stop making these same mistakes that he's been making.
Yeah. Well, I read when people say it's his best movie since Signs, and I see a lot of similarities to that.
Yeah.
And I think if you like Signs, you might like this one. I just find that with a lot of his movies, he's got a very immature and childish sense of morality plays, and this is definitely one of those.
I didn't have a problem with the morality in this, except for God. You know, because
God's a dick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't. And I don't mean I'm not going against religion. I'm going to bet, you know, with the God that they say that, or that
in the movie,
whose orders they're following. I just say, man, if God is asking all these people to do this in this fashion, you know, in these methods, I'm like, man, this dude's an asshole. Yeah, I just like, wow,
this is Old Testament God.
It's like, gee, wow, you really don't like us, man.
Yeah, and you have not changed a bit.
Yeah,
but you think about it. Say somebody said, like, man, they got hostages down at City Hall, and they say they're going to kill them unless you kill Pixie. You wouldn't be like, okay, I got to do this. You'd be thinking like, well, that's up to them. They're the ones doing it. Don't make me the bad guy. I got nothing to do with that.
No, I was just like, God damn, boy. I mean, I would say, you know what? You tell God, kiss my ass. There's an easier way to do this.
Exactly. Exactly.
I was like, look, if I gotta die anyway.
Yeah. We can stop wasting everybody's time because I'm not doing what you just said.
Get him on the phone right now. Let me talk to him real quick. If I gotta die, I gotta have some, you know, I got some words before we go out. Let me talk to your manager real quick. I would have put a Karen on that.
I can't do that, but we had a vision.
Out here. Kill me
How
again.
come I didn't have that same vision?
Yeah, shit. I guess the world going down because this sounds like bullshit to me.
Exactly.
I mean, come on, man. I need more than this Left Behind Kirk Cameron movie you put on right here.
Honestly, that's all I kept thinking. I was like, I'm willing to go with this, but I need more than that. What you guys are spouting.
Yeah.
Can we get a writer in here? Because
There's two co-writers.
Because they spent so much time locked in that cabin. I was like, there's a lot of room here for a really good debate back and forth.
Yeah.
And that's not really happening. Everybody's kind of saying the same things over and over.
Yeah. But hey, I wasn't the one dying, so I liked it.
No watch.
Yeah, it was. Had a good time.